Hello folks, morning. It's Craig's new workshop and I thought I'd give you a walk around just to show you where I'm up to, and I've got a bit of viewer mail from Kimber. So let's start with the walk around. So I'm starting this walk around from the same place I started the last one, which is with my back to the roller door. There's loads of junk at my feet, so I'm sort of off to one side. But basically we're stood in the woodwork area and the door entrance is here. There's a big bench here that's got to go, and all of this needs sorting. I've got my super bench here, and this stuff is lifting and handling and sort of tools and things to do with woodworking. I've got this table saw there. The jointer is tucked in behind, and the thicknesser is just around that corner. And yeah, things are roughly in their place, very roughly. Let's walk around. Bandsaw, dust extractor, table saw, sawhorses, thicknesser, and looking back at that area, it looks like this, and I'm stepping on things. So that's the first sort of double garage. The middle area is terrible. I've got empty containers, and all of this stuff is the contents of my old electronics station that I had. And there's a desk there that's going to go into the clean room bit. Got some new stuff that I've been buying. I've got some super high pigment wall paint, some floor epoxy. That's probably going to have to wait till spring because it's now cold enough that we can't really do floor epoxy in this temperature. And some mortar for pointing the walls. I'll obviously need more than one bag. And some concrete for this patch. And some painting gear. And I've bought a bit of cable and some boxes of plug bases. And that's for an electrician that's coming this week. He's going to put lots of plug bases in between these floor joists so that I've got places to hang lights. If I show you the lights that we have at the moment, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tubes, and a couple of tubes where I'm stood, and that little pendant light is just a temporary one that I've hung up there. But I need sort of 20 plus lights in this ceiling to make it workable for filming. You can see how many dark holes there are in the frame at the moment. Yeah, anyway, so that's the middle bay, and the other part of the middle bay is I've got the mill in, and it's now sitting on a pallet, and my new favourite toy is through there. I bought myself a pallet jack. This pallet jack was in part funded by Google advert revenue and money that has come from people that have donated via Patreon. So I've got a Patreon account, and there's a link in the description below, and you're not obliged to use it, but if you want to throw $1 or so this way and help with things like this purchase, then the link's there. But I'll never have any sort of paywall content. It'll always be free for everybody. So I am really happy with that. It works with my grinding bench. Obviously it works with the mill, with its pallet, and it works with the base of the super bench. It was designed to work with that. And I intend to make some kind of riser for the table saw so that I can use the pallet jack to move it. It's sat on a dolly at the moment. And the last item is got the floor standing drill press. That needs a riser. It's not tall enough yet. So yeah, this middle bay, the idea of this one will be no electronics. It'll just be metalwork machines around here. And I've got the lathe and the mill so far. And the smaller lathe and the bandsaw and compressor will live in here too. And materials are everywhere, all over this floor. I've got the cart there. and I'm going to figure out some kind of storage for materials down this wall, and when I've got a bit more money, up and over onto a kind of shelf as well. But for now, just having them on end against the wall makes things workable. Yeah, so this middle bay will be mostly metal work, but material storage against that wall. And as you can see, nothing is usable yet. There's no power, hardly any power. But yeah, electrician's coming this week to get lights sorted. And once I can see everything, I can start working on the walls and get the layout a bit better. And we'll do power at another time. In the meantime, I can string power cables where I need them. So I've got so far a little 3D printer, storage cart, the welding bench and the welder obviously go into the metalwork area. I've got my sticker boards, filming gear, lights, camera stands and all that kind of stuff. These are all the light panels that I've bought. I've got 8 that were the ones I had in the last place, plus 8 tubes, and I bought another 8 new ones for the rest of the ceiling, because obviously I've got 3 times as much ceiling. And then here I've got surface plate with microscope and measuring gear. And here I've got a cart which includes my sort of lenses, microphones, and all that kind of stuff. Now, I've got a bit of viewer mail from Kimber and Emma, so I will set you up on a camera stand and we'll get into this. Also, I'm going to give a shout out while I'm here to my mate Harry, who has been indispensable with helping move. He actually moved 5 of my machines in one go on his truck, and I worked it out. I could have only combined 2 of those with my car and trailer, so it would have been 4 runs for me, and it was 1 run for Harry. So thanks, Harry. You saved me probably a day and a half at least for that. And also thanks to Bill for lending me the piano dolly and the moving blankets and the boxes. I can hear metal in here. That's that. Let me just turn the camera off. I've got to re-anonymise my address. Okay, that's better. I don't know what's in here, but I'm looking forward to finding out, because I've had this package for 3 or 4 weeks. It arrived just after I did an update video, and then I've been moving for the last couple of weeks. So oh wow. Awesome. I've never seen dividers as small as that. They're Starrett dividers, or inside calipers, sorry, not dividers, for measuring an internal bore. So you can do this kind of thing. I'm sure everybody watching this has seen, but just for the one person that hasn't, you can get a friction fit on an inside of a bore and then measure it with a mic. So we've got a 1 to 2 inch Starrett micrometer with a friction clutch. It's got a locking knob for holding onto a measurement, and it's got a friction clutch for getting repeatable measurements. That's great. That's awesome. And here in Australia, Starrett stuff is not that common. We see a fair bit of the Japanese stuff like Michitoyo or the Moore and Wright stuff, but Starrett isn't that common. So there's a lovely little set of inside calipers, and they're Starrett as well. Brilliant. So they go down to about probably 5/8 or 3/4 of an inch, 16 or 18 or 20 mil, thereabouts, and they go much bigger. These need a little bit of a clean up, but that's cool. I'm set up to do that. So yeah, they go big. So awesome. I love measuring tools. I can't get enough of them. Thank you, Kimber. Whoops. And we've got stickers. Kimber Zelic at YouTube, student machinist. Not sure if, I don't know what the light's doing with this, so I'm just going to hope you can see that. If that doesn't work, I'll overlay some footage, some hand filmed footage of that. They look awesome. You can be the first person on the sticker board at the new shop, Kimber. And then this is an absolute gold mine of taps. Looks like that's a I forget the words. I don't actually know the terminology for different types of taps, but I can see that this leading edge of this cutting edge is designed to, I think, push the swarf through the hole, so it's tapping blind holes. It might be called a gun tap, I'm not 100% on that. I know that some are spiral flutes, and they're machine taps. This one is not quite like a hand tap. It's got that relieved front section. Perhaps you can tell me in the comments what that's called. And actually, as I look at them, Butterfield 5/16 National Fine, which is 24 TPI. Can't read that one. 5/16 18 National Course, UNC. They're all mostly that kind of, no, not that one. Winter 3/8 24. That's a thread that I've needed often. Well, I'm not going to pour these out onto the table because I don't think that'll be very good for the cutting edges. I'll have to come up with some storage for these. I'm a big fan of the vertical storage that you've probably seen me make. There's just the closest thing to hand, the Allen keys. This means I can get something with one hand. I can see when something's missing. I can put it back, and it takes no time to make. And here's a really rough and ready one for Forstner bits, but same concept. Kimber, thank you very much. I'm really grateful. I can see from the package that you paid quite a bit to post it here to Australia, and just let me tell you that it's not a wasted effort. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I'm pretty sure that the lighting here is terrible, but you can see I made a video about making this end mill one, but there's ball end mills, countersinks, needle files, a similar kind of arrangement for my collets. These are ER40, and yeah, I've got more to come because this style of storage is very dense, very quick access, and I love it. Sorry about the noise upstairs, I've got to fix all the squeaky floorboards. I've got a visitor, I'll pick this back up later. So this item here is, you may recognise the finger joints on the corner, and if you could see the view I'm looking at, it says Starrett, the LS Starrett Co, Athol, Massachusetts, USA. I've been looking for something like this for quite a while. Now this comes from Emma, over at Emma's Spare Room Machine Shop. She mentioned in her live stream that it was just too big for her workshop, too big for her surface plate and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a slightly bigger surface plate and this will suit it perfectly. It's a height gauge. And the lovely thing about this is that it's imperial one side and metric the other side. So it goes up to 460 millimeters or 18 or 19 inches it looks like. And there's a scribing foot that gets attached to this. There is one downside, and it doesn't lower below a certain point. For the measurements to make sense on this, this point has to be on the in plane with the top of this. So the clamp goes something like that, which is not the same as I've seen on other height gauges, but only when you do that does the measurement make sense. So what I'd like to do is, there is a dog leg version of this available, which gives you a fixed 30 or 40 or 50 mil offset on the beam. So yeah, I'm gonna really enjoy using this. It's a nice long range unit, and you know, my surface plate is 600 by 600, so it's going to be great. Now I bought this off Emma, but it was such a good price that I'm basically considering it a gift, so I'm really grateful, Emma, thanks for that. You will see this in future videos, doing layout with the marking blue and all that kind of stuff. In fact, I bought some marking blue. Let me see if I can find it. I'll edit this bit out. Yeah, I got some information from my friend Bill, and he told me where I could buy this die mark locally. Engineers Layout ink, basically the same as die-chem, and so yeah, I've never had access to any of this before. I've only had a Sharpie, so it'll be interesting to start using the sort of layout method. So yeah, the other thing that came from Emma was this small printed indexing collar. It's got basically a V-groove in it and a clamping bolt. Not really a bolt, it's a grub screw, and it's got a 6, an 8 and a 4-sided collar, so you can clamp around stock in here, perhaps put it in a V-block in the vise and use a square to line up 6 or 8 or 4 or 3 or 2 sides and put flats onto a shaft. So very cool. This is the quickest indexing tool I now have. So I've got the rotary table with the indexing plates, but for a quick putting 2 spanner flats on something, this will be the way I'll go, because it's just going to be instant fast. And it looks like the range will go from approximately 12 mil or ½ inch up to 1 1/8 or 28. Okay, so thanks Emma, fantastic. Thanks Kimber, thanks Harry for helping me with the move, thanks Bill, and thanks everybody for watching, subscribing. Alright, thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next video.